Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to speak about 8 ways you can stay in shape while you travel. So whether you're going away on holidays, whether you're a business owner and you need to go to business events, or just whether you travel quite a lot with your work, okay, and you're on the go quite a bit, here are 8 simple hacks that you can implement to make sure you stay consistent and you stay on track. Number 1 is just manage your expectations. So there's 52 weeks in a year, right? And if you're away on holidays, one of those weeks out of 52, realistically, it's probably not the best for you to set a fat loss goal if this is the only time you get a chance to get away. On the flip side though, if you're traveling every single week, then that's going to be a different set of rules for you. Just what I would say is just manage your expectations. So I was recently back home in Ireland and I gave myself permission that, look, Adrian, it's not going to be the end of the world if I gain an extra kilo or two, because if I gain that in a week or so, I'll be able to lose in my normal routine in another week or so as well. And I've done that. I've gained maybe 1.5 kilos, but it's already, my weight is dropping down. I'm nearly back to where I was pre-holiday. So what I would say is manage your expectation, okay? And don't get too upset if you gain a small bit of weight. At the same time though, you don't need to be in your consistent routine if you're very, very consistent for 51 weeks of the year. It's like 1 week where you adjust the diet, it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, number 2, this is really important, is to bring protein powder. So I use Sunwire protein powder. What is the hardest thing to get even when you're on the go, okay? It's going to be a high protein meal. So breakfast, often you might just get a bowl of porridge, you might get 1 or 2 boiled eggs. It's very, very difficult if you're eating out to get a high quality protein meal, even at lunch and dinner. So I would recommend at the start, definitely bring a protein supplement with you, okay? You're allowed to bring this in the airport. I bring it every single where I travel, so that way then, if I know that I'm going out for breakfast, okay, that I'll drink a protein shake beforehand, or if I can, make my own meals, I'll have my high protein porridge or my high protein cream of rice. But just make sure you bring a protein supplement. And speaking of protein, it's the most important macronutrient to prioritize, okay? Whether you're cooking your own food or eating on the go, always make sure every single meal you consume a source of protein. And this also applies if you're going on vacation and you're walking around the city, for example. You can very, very easily just go to a grocery store, what I sometimes do, and get some pre-cooked packaged chicken fillet cooked there for you and just have that on the go as well. But really make sure you prioritize protein, about 2 grams per kilo of body weight. Now, number 3 is going to be, if you are on the go, you're on away on holidays, okay, and you're not in a business event where maybe a hotel is booked for you, I'd always recommend book an Airbnb or book somewhere that you've self-catering accommodation that you can cook your own food. So for example, if you're eating out 3 meals a day, okay, it can essentially, you're putting the control in somebody else's hand. I promise you, the chef is not concerned how many calories is in your salad or your dinner, okay? The chef's concerned about making it as healthy or as tasty as possible, okay? He doesn't really care about your waistline. But what I would recommend is that if you do have the option, book self-catering accommodation. So that way then at least, what I usually recommend, number 4, which I'll go on to, is that you eat out in the evening time, okay, but you backlog your food, and for the earlier part of the day you try to cook or make your own food. So for example, for breakfast you could have something like your protein porridge or your eggs which you brought in the supermarket. For lunch you could have a big ass salad, and then in the dinner time, in the evening time, okay, that's when you can have a meal out. But where possible, always try to book self-catering accommodation, so that way essentially you can at least cook some of your own food. Now, tip number 4 is that when you are eating at a restaurant, use your GBSS formula. So GBSS stands for opt for foods that are grilled, that are boiled, that are steamed, with the sauce on the side. So for example, if you go to a restaurant, okay, and you get meals which are very, very difficult to track, something like creamy pasta, okay, with this creamy sauce, okay, that can add on an extra, with the oils, with the butter, with the fats and everything, that can easily add on an extra 200 or 300 calories, okay? And then if you get like fried meat or marinated meat, which is, cooked in seed oils and so on, that can be an extra 200-300 calories. So even though on its meal itself, like you got pasta, you got chicken, okay, how the food has been cooked can add an extra 300, 400, 500 calories easily. So that's why we always recommend to our clients, whether you're a corporate client, whether you're a business owner, whether you're just on the go, you're away on holidays, always opt for foods that are grilled. So for example, grilled piece of salmon, grilled fillet of steak, okay, boiled carbohydrates. So boiled rice is going to be better than fried rice, just like boiled potatoes are better than chips or fried potatoes or mashed potatoes. Simply because of mashed potatoes with fried rice, what are they doing? You're adding lots of extra oils, okay? And the oils are the thing to keep an eye on when you combine fats and carbs together, okay? Then steamed veggies, ideally, rather than fried veggies, and ask for your sauce on the side. Very simple swap there. So if you're getting your healthy chicken Caesar salad, rather than asking the waiter to pour the dressing on top, ask for it on the side and you determine how much you want. Okay, number 5 is that when you're on the go, I always believe you should train. So what I recommend first of all is wherever you're traveling to, just do a bit of research. Is there a gym in your locality? If you're staying in a hotel, do they have a hotel gym? Even if it's the worst gym possible, you can still get something in. And what I personally always do is, so if I'm flying, so when I was flying back, let's say back to Dubai, what I did was, look, it was very, very early morning. And what's one thing you're not able to do a whole lot of when you're on the plane? i.e. walk, run, move, etc. So what I did is I just went for a 12.5 kilometer run, which took me an hour, but I did this before in the morning time before I went on the plane. So personally my game plan is whenever I travel, always that morning, if I'm on a plane, I would always do some form of cardio. That's my preference. But then when I'm on the go, when I'm out and about, when I'm away on holidays, I'll always try to find a gym. And just what I do is I just do something outside of my normal routine. So I like doing full body workouts, or maybe you might hit up a hotel gym. There's some crazy piece of equipment that you haven't seen before. Like, just be adventurous in that way. Like, if you're in a routine for 50, 51 weeks of the year, having 1 week where you just kind of adjust things and just change it up essentially, it's not going to do any harm. But what I recommend, even if you cannot get to a gym, do some form of running, do bodyweight workouts if you can, but always make sure you train. The reason this is important is because what is the number one thing that people come to us at Mac Lifestyle Fitness for, okay? They say that they're in a routine, but then something happens and they fall out of that routine. They find it very, very difficult to get back into it again. What we have found having coached our corporate clients is that we encourage them to train, even if it's just 10 minutes, 15 minutes, okay, to keep the routine going. That way then when you're back from your holiday, you're back from your business event, you're not just starting from scratch again. You're essentially just ramping up the momentum and the intensity of your training, but you're never stopping. So whether you're away, whether you're on the go, always make sure you train. There's loads of gyms around, and if it's a priority of yours, you will get it done. Now, number 6 is going to be more applicable if you're away on holidays, and that is just simply walk more. Like, it's a great way to see the city. I remember when I was in Lisbon, I totaled, I think, with 25 or 35,000 steps, and Lisbon is a very, very hilly city, but by God, I saw all the city, and I was absolutely exhausted come the end of the day. But just try to make sure you walk more, okay? It's a good way to explore, to see different places, and of course, to get your steps into. Number 7 is to limit your alcohol intake, okay? So I used to go on holidays which are more drinking holidays, and you have like mojitos, you'd have all these different cocktails, and all those calories, they do add up, okay? So, you know, what I would just say is limit your alcohol. Like 1 or 2 drinks here and there is fine, but if you're doing it every single day, like that can easily add up to an extra 2,000-3,000 calories. When you combine that with a big meal out in the evening too, at restaurants with all these oils and added fats and carbohydrates on, it's just a recipe for gaining weight quite quickly. So I would recommend, even if you're a business owner, you're attending a lunch, okay, try to limit your alcohol intake. And if you are going away, okay, at least pick and choose your nights. So let's just say you're going away for 7 days. You don't need to drink all 7 nights, okay? You might just have 2 nights where you consume alcohol, and then for the other nights, you just limit it and you just get to bed that bit early. But definitely limit your alcohol intake if you want to save some additional calories. And again, alcohol, you're not going to be up early in the morning. You're probably going to be less likely to want to go to the gym. So alcohol will have a direct influence on all of these things here. And just finally, number 8 then is that when you're on the plane, okay, realistically, plain food for the most part, it's absolutely garbage. So a few things that I found worked well. Number 1 is that download whatever airline you're flying with, okay? Depending if it's an international flight. But for example, when I fly with Emirates, you can actually choose the menu that you want if you download the Emirates app. So what I did was I chose the low-fat meal. I just didn't get the standard one. As a result of this, my meal was actually pretty decent. I got a leaner chicken breast, I got some green beans, and I got like some healthier form of potatoes, whereas everyone else just got like pasta and whatever it was. So you can actually potentially choose your in-flight dining options if you download the app with whatever airline you're flying with beforehand. Number 2 is that bring your own food with you on the plane. It's like one of my favorite things to make is just protein pancakes. It's perfect, it's like bread, you just wrap it up in tin foil or whatever it is, and it's way, way better, in my opinion, than just relying on the food in the airport or in the plane, because let's be real, plane food, airport food, it's not the best, okay? Number 3 is that on the day you're traveling, what are some things that are quite difficult to get in airports? Vegetables and lean protein. So what I would preferably do is I'll have a big ass omelette in the morning time where I have lots of veggies in it, I've got lots of lean protein with the eggs and the egg whites, okay? And that way then at least I'm giving my body something that I can get now, which will be find difficult to get later on. And then also with plain food, okay? What I actually find works well is if you get a pre-packaged or pre-cooked meal. So let's just say you're in Ireland, this could be something like a ready-made Fit Foods meal, okay? They can be absolutely fine to bring in the plane because they essentially, they hold their shape, okay? They're non-perishable, at least for a while. And it's much, much better, in my opinion, just relying on whatever garbage is given you for the most part at the airport. Actually, funny enough story, I was on a flight back home from Marbella to Dublin, okay? It's only a 3-hour flight. I got a oat pot, so one of those mini Flavin's oat pot in the airport actually, okay? And interesting enough, a little hack here for anyone watching, is that I asked the air hostess if they had any boiling water, which they did. They're going around with like hot cups of tea. And I got her to pour the boiling water into the little oats pot, okay? And then I had my protein powder with me. So I got my scoop of protein powder, put it into the oats pot, and there I was on a plane having hot chocolate protein oats, okay? So there's always a way around this, but just what I would say is just do not rely on the airport food. It's not going to be the best. Quite high in calories, quite low in protein, and it's not the most nutrient dense. So just to recap, number 1, manage your expectations. Number 2, bring protein powder with you. Number 3, if possible, book an Airbnb or get self-catering accommodation so you can cook your own food. Number 4 is that when you are eating out, use a GBSS formula: grilled protein, boiled carbohydrates, steamed veggies with sauce on the side. Number 5 is train, okay? Get full body workouts in, whether it's in the gym, whether it's bodyweight, whether it's going for a run. Make sure you keep up your consistent routine when you're training. Maybe you don't need to go for as long, but just make sure you get something in. Something is always better than nothing. Number 6 is walk more. Very, very simple way to explore and see the city. Number 7 is limit your alcohol intake where possible. And number 8 is bring your own food with you on the plane, okay? So that way then you're not relying on whatever is given to you. Okay, and there are 8 simple ways that you can stay in shape while you travel. If you did find this video helpful, please make sure you subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Peace out.